Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whenever you're watching this. This is Alex once again, and I'm coming to you. It's about 7:06 p.m. on the 18th of November, 2020. The year is almost over, thank God. The year 2020 is, whew, I tell you. So today we're going to be speaking about a couple of different topics. The first topic we're going to speak about very briefly is a program that I first ran into about a year ago when I first started working at the company I work for now. Um, I was touching base with a guy I used to work with in previous company, and he works there as well. And he was telling me about this cool little program called Linkpad that uses different programming languages, and you can use it like a sandbox or a little like a little yeah, like a little sandbox in a way. It's not it doesn't tie totally into Visual Studio or .NET framework and all that kind of stuff, but it does for the .NET framework. But it's a handy little tool, but it doesn't have all the overhead of Visual Studio. It runs on Windows machines. So I figured I'd go ahead and talk a little bit about that today in a brief topic there. And then I'd also want to go over Git, using Git at the command line level, using that with GitHub as well. And so we'll talk a little bit about both of those if we have the time to. So first, let's talk about Linkpad. And I'm going to go to the web page where Linkpad is located. So what you can do is just Google and find LINQPad. Okay, and let's just go there. So, and I think I might have tried to do a video about this a while back, and it just didn't work because I didn't have the sound going or something like that, or I was just rambling on like I usually do. But what is Linkpad? Well, Linkpad, it gives you the ability to test three different languages in the same program or client. It says here that you can instantly test any C sharp, F sharp, or VB snippet or program. You can query databases in Link or SQL. That includes SQL, Azure databases, these are Microsoft databases, Oracle, SQLite, Postgres, and MySQL databases. You can have output formatting, auto completion, and integrated debugging. That's for an added cost, and I'll kind of talk about that in a minute. You can automate in your favorite .NET language. Well, there's only three that you can choose from, but it's very lightweight. It's got one executable. You do have to have the .NET framework installed on your computer. The cool thing about this is it comes with a standard edition where you don't pay anything, but if you want some added features, it's still not overly expensive. Um, and it talks about what it kind of looks like. And this is what it kind of looks like. There's a scratch pad there where you can do some sampling and some querying and some stuff like that. It's got some tutorials in there as well that you can follow. Um, and it's got a simple way to output data to your screen called dump. And I'll go over here to the purchase part here. So it's got four different ones in here. They're one-time, non-expiring licenses. So you buy it one time and you've got it for life. You don't have to buy it once every month or every quarter or every year. Um, and so the Pro edition here costs per user $49. The developer edition here costs 79, and then the premium edition is $95. And it was actually reduced. And if you have already paid for a license, um, then what happens is you would pay a different price, I believe. So, and I won't get into that. Excuse me. And so the way it works is that you pay for your license and you get some added features every step up. Right now, I have the Pro license, so I paid 49 bucks for it. My manager at work, he said, "Hey, if you can install it on 3 computers, and if you use it, fine, do your thing, man." I was like, "Hey, I like the tool." When one of my coworkers showed me how to use it, I was like, "Man, that's pretty cool." So this is Linkpad, and this is where you would download it. So you would just come here and download the one that you need. You'll need to make sure, excuse me, that you have the right .NET framework. So this shows that you have to have, for 6, you have to have .NET Core and .NET 5 frameworks on Windows. And then if you're just downloading 5, which is the previous version, you just need the .NET framework 4.6, 7, or 8. Excuse me. Now, the cool thing about if you get 6 is you get the .NET Core framework, and the .NET Core framework is the one that allows you to create applications that will run cross-platform. So they would be able to run on Linux machines and Windows machines and so on and so forth. So .NET, now you can't run Linkpad on a Linux box, I don't believe. You can only run it on a Windows machine. So so there's that. Excuse me. And so let's go ahead and run it. I will not go through the trouble of downloading it because I already have it. So go ahead and run it here. I'll let you see what it looks like. And so this is an example, and this is all you get right here. I mean, it's not, it's nothing too fancy. You start typing here. So up here at the top, you'll see this is your run button that will run your code. Stop, obviously. This get your results out to grids or to text. Excuse me. This is all of the languages that you can use, or these are all the languages that you can use. So you can do C# statements, program, Visual Basic statements and programs, SQL, eSQL, F# stuff. These are the different frameworks that you can run on here. And then obviously this connection is a database connection. And so there's a way, if you can see over here, there's a sample database and it says the Linkpad driver requires the following NuGet packages. It will automatically do that. And this NuGet package is just the Microsoft SQL Server Compact NuGet package that comes from NuGet.org. So you click that and it'll download automatically for you. Excuse me. And like I said before, there's very little overhead over here. So you'll see populating, and now we've got a table full of data in here. We have a database full of tables and data. So we can come over here and do the SQL. We can connect to that database here. And I can run a SQL query on that categories table, kind of like in the previous videos that we've been doing. So let's just do a really quick select. Let me see if I can make that bigger. Yeah, I can. There we go. Select from categories, categories, and just hit F5 to execute, and it gives us our data back. And then the cool thing is that you can see the SQL that it executed. Um, these other things are used more for development, for language stuff. And then here you can export your data to Word docs, Excel stuff, and so on and so forth. You can do the joins in here. So let's find a category that relates to our, I'm guessing our categories will be, um, Well, let's do one here. Let's do customers from customers. There's our customer data, and we want to get the orders for that customer. So let's do a quick join. Let's make this C. We're doing our alias here. On O dot customer ID equals C dot customer ID. And let's hit F5 there. And it says column name is not valid, so I've got something wrong in there. Customer ID. Select star from node name if any. Huh, that should be working. Select star from customer C. Let's just do company name. And actually, it's probably got the brackets around it. That's why. Let's do it. You can drag and drop this over there like that. And it's doing the same thing. Yeah, what's up with that? CUSTOMERID. And let's put the brackets around it. Let's just see if that's the deal. Like that. And then let's put the brackets around that one. And it's not liking something. Oh, that's why. Select company. Ah, it's not liking that. C dot. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there. That's kind of weird. So you can do this analyze query here. You can open this in SQL Server Management Studio as well if you've got SQL Server Management Studio. I've never really done that, so let's just see what happens. I said open in SQL Server Management Studio, so it's thinking. While that's doing that, I'll show you some other stuff here. So down here in the samples, you can come down here and it will tell you how to do queries and everything in Linkpad as well. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't use Linkpad for a lot of, yeah, it's not liking that. I don't use Linkpad for a lot of SQL, but what I do, let's see if I can tie into that database here. Open demo. Let's see, where are you at? Properties, let me get the connection string on that. See users Alex app data. See users app data. Open connect to database. Browse. Actually, let me connect to that database there. And what I'll do is say attach, add, see users, me, and actually let's grab where that's located at. It's over here. See, users, me, app data. There it is. App data. Go back to Linkpad, app data roaming. Linkpad. There it is. I'm going to grab a copy of that. And then, where's you at? Where'd you go? We'll just put it here. Paste. See. Users. It's me. It's not liking. Oh, that's why. It's a SDF. Delete that. Oop. Let's delete that. Delete that. That's the wrong. I grabbed the wrong file. That's why. And here we go. Demo DB. Cancel. Cancel. Create database. Uh-oh. Yep, it already exists. Well, let's do it this way then. Let's disconnect from that database. Delete connection. Yep. Just get rid of all of this here. Now, what you can do is in this samples here, there is a database in here where it will let you create a database in here. I just got to remember where it is. Let's see. Well, actually, we can just connect to that database. So I'm going to click Add Connection, Link to SQL. I'm going to, now what I can do is I can attach to the databases over here. So let's just do that. I'm going to attach to this database here. Desktop, blah, 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 blah. And that's going to be, if I click down, it should, no, it didn't find it. Properties. Copy that server. So that's the server. And I can say specify new or existing, and I click the down arrow, and all of our databases pop up there. So let's use the book DB. Is that the one we were using before here? Let's close that. I think we're using book DB. All right. Customer ID. Let's go to these tables, make sure we're looking at the right one. Nope, that's not the right one. We're using bike stores, I think. Yeah, we're using bike stores. So we're going to go to our bike stores database. And we're going to test our connection. Yep, all's good. Say OK. Now, let's do a different query here. So over here we can see we've got some stored procs. That's that stored proc we're going to create. We've got our category. I should just be able to do this. Copy all of this here and come come over here and paste that in there. Let's move that down just a smidge. Now if I run that, oh, you know what? I gotta come over here and put it in there. There we go. And it runs our, uh-oh, it didn't like something. Left outer join, syntax error near left. Well, that's not right. Unless I've got something messed up there. Let's see, use stores, 5, 5. Yeah, it doesn't like something in there. Why doesn't it like that? Incorrect syntax near the keyword left. Oh, there it goes. I guess it didn't like that comment line, comment line there. Okay, so this is the same results we get back from here. I know that was a little long. So again, you can use Linkpad to help develop SQL queries for yourself on existing databases before you port them into your code. It gives you a lot less overhead, so this is really good for that purpose. But I'll show you what I use it mostly for. So I'm going to go over here to C# statements. Oop, no, let me change that back to SQL. I'll come up here and click New Query. And so C# expressions are great for one line code if you want to try something out, right? So like if I want to say date time, and you see I've got the same IntelliSense that I have in Visual Studio and SQL Server Management Studio. Date time dot now dot date. Let's say I want to see what format a date can be in. To string. So I can say D. And if I hit F5 there, it shows me what format that date would be in if I use this date time string. Let's put an S in there and see what I have here. Yep. So that's good. Expressions are good for one line code expressions. Um, you don't have to put the semicolon in there. You just, use it if you're trying to find out to see what a line of code will do. Now, statements in program, mostly statements is what I use the most of. And you can really learn the C# programming language and VB programming language if you use this product here. I think it's a great tool to start out with. Very little overhead. You don't have to download Visual Studio or anything kind of heavier like that. All you need to do is just make sure you've got this and the framework and you're good to go. So let's say I want to see what happens if I do a loop. Okay, so I can say for, and it's got the same code snippet stuff in there. So you see I say for, and it says code snippet, press tab to insert. So I press tab and it gives me a code snippet. So I don't have to print all of that stuff out there. And let's say I'm going to create a string. And I'm just going to call it append text string. I'm going to make it a empty string. And then let's say I want to just append 100 characters on here. And every time I append a character on here, I want to print it out to the screen. I'm not going to do 100 though. I'm going to do this till 20, 26. And then instead of it being less than or equal to, we'll do equal to, no, less than 27. You'll see where I'm going to here in a minute. Okay, so And then let's make another string here with just the alphabet in it. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. All right, so now I've got an empty string here. This is my empty string. And this is my alphabet. And I'm going to append the alphabet backwards here. So instead of this being plus plus, let's make this, let's do it 4R. Let's do it this way instead. No, let's leave that in there. Okay, baby. Bring it here. Okay. I was just delivered a pink tablet. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to append onto my, let's make one more here. One more string, empty string backward. And this is alphabet. This is alphabet backwards. Okay. Oh, I gotta put a semicolon there. Okay, so now what's gonna happen is I'm going to, for this one, this is my reverse array, or my reverse for loop. Now there's an easier way to do this, but I'm just kind of showing you how this Linkpad works. So I'm going to say append string back plus equals, and it's going to be alphabet dot alphabet dot select. I'm going to use link. So this is link. I'm basically going to take this alphabet and use SQL on it as if it's in an SQL table. Alphabet dot select. Oh, oh, it already pre-filled for me. I'm so used to doing it myself. Select a dot, and that should be a char. A should be a char. Yep. Select a select a dot toString, and we'll say actually let's do a substring. That's probably better. Alphabet substring, and we're going to use I as our starting index, and we're going to use for 1, and we're going to change this to 26, and we'll leave the rest of that there. And then this one, copy that logic, and then we'll take that one, and that's going to be the same thing, except this, instead of it being back, it's going to be append text string. And then down here, we're going to say append text string dot dump, and we're going to say append dot text string back dot dump. And here, let's just make this, and we'll say, oh, it doesn't like that. String dot format. value of forward string is 0, and then that will be there. Pin dot string text string dot dump, and that's going to be a comma there. There we go. And copy that and paste that in there. And this is going to be backward is append text string back dot dump. Alrighty. Now let's run that and see what happens. See, it doesn't like that because it doesn't like the length there. So what we can do is we can look at this length here and see what the length is. String back index must and that should be 25 actually. 25. And this should be 26 there. There we go. And the reason why is because indexes start on indexes always start on 0. Like arrays and lists and stuff like that, they always start with an index of 0. So 25 is actually 26 because it's 0 is 1, 1 is 2, so on and so forth. So that's in a previous video. So we can see the value of our forward string is A, B, C, D, F, G all the way to Z, and the value of our backward string is Z all the way to A. So this is a great way to, if you get a piece of code that you're not sure how it's going to operate, and it's easily put into a separate function or some kind of a separate method, you can use Linkpad to check your logic this way. So it's really great for that. I use it at times if I have a question on a code review or something, or for questions pinned it to me, um, then I use Linkpad to handle that. You can do the same thing in Visual Basic. And you have to know, and this is why I like this particular tool, because it, if you want to learn how to do both languages, you can find out how to do the same thing in both languages. So let me see if I can do that. So I'm going to take, I have these two strings, append text string, and I can say dim append text string as string equals string dot empty. Oh, it's been a while. Dim. Is it dim? No. It's dim. Dim. Oh, that's why. I gotta flip that. There we go. And then dim. And I can just copy what I've got there. Actually, what I can do is I can just copy all of this and come over here, paste that in there. These are C# statements, and we'll turn that into VB statements. And all you got to do is just do the logic that you need to change the syntax of your logic to match VB. So I can say dim append text as string equals string dot empty, and that is a comment line for VB. And that little squiggly should go away. Dim as string equals string dot empty, and I can put a comment line there. Let me just go ahead and put that comment line there while I'm at it. And then dim, dim alphabet as string equals that. And then I can say for I. I'm a little rusty with this here, y'all. 1 to 10, like this. And that's going to be a there. And this is going to be substring. Get rid of this right here. And this is not going to be 20. So this is going to be 1 to 26. Copy that. Paste that. 26 to 1. And this is going to be J, because now we're making variables I and J that will continue on even after our loop. Text string back. This is text string. This is a forward loop. No, I got that backwards. This one goes here. That one goes here. This line goes here. Oop, and that line goes here. And then this goes from I. And this one goes to J. I can get rid of these two here. And get rid of my semicolons there. And just for consistency, make sure I've got this the right way. That's reverse. This is a forward loop. And now if I come over here, I'm a little rusty with my VB, y'all. Yep, same thing there. Okay, so 0 to 25, 25 to 0. There we go. Uh-oh, our backward string didn't work. Text, uh-oh, text string back. 25 by 1. Uh-oh. 4. I usually use a for each for this. I don't use too many for loops in VB. I used to be really good at VB, but I don't use that as often as I used to. Okay, so J is 25 to 0. Well, let's just troubleshoot this real quick. Let's just dump out what we got going on here with J is J.dump. I didn't like that. What did I do? J. Well, let's just use I, see what happens. I don't think that works though, because I'll get an error there. I think I'll get an error there. Nope. String back as string equals string.empty. Alphabet substring 1 plus equals, let's say 0 to 25. No. To I minus 1. I used to know how to do this. Oh. Dump string back 0 to 25. That's 26. Well, when in doubt, you always just go to your source. Just rusty here. VB.NET reverse for loop. For each next. There it is. Is yeah, I thought you could do a loop backwards, but maybe I'm just there we go. Forgot the step. Step minus one. There we go. So this is doing the exact same thing as this is doing. Two different languages, exact same logic, same execution, right? Um, so this is really great to practice if you're trying to learn multiple languages. It's great to learn using this. And then, like I said, you can obviously link up into your database as well. So let's say I do a database connection into here. Let's see if I can do this here. I'd have to create a connection. I don't want to go through all that on this video. How much time have I used so far? Probably about 20 minutes. How much time? How much time? For 42 minutes. Okay. So I'll probably have to break this into two different videos. So let's say I want to save this. I'm going to save this query. Save as a Linkpad query. But before I do that, getting to the Git part. So I already have a GitHub account, as you all have seen, I think, on previous videos. And let me just go to my GitHub account. In 1995. So this is my GitHub account that will eventually come up here. Eventually. 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 There we go. And let me close let me close this since we're using, no, I won't use that. All right, so I'm going to sign in. And because I know my username and password, I tried to hide it, y'all. All right. Remember, never click this. I just took a training video. It said the exact same thing. Never click this, never save there. Click that, never save. Okay. So let's say I want to save this into a repository. So I can do one of two things. If you have a GitHub account, you can either come over here and create a repository. And I need to clean up my repositories here. So let's say I come over here, go to repositories, I say new, and I'm going to create a new repository. I'm going to call it Linkpad, LINQPad queries. All right. And then I'm going to call it, I call the Linkpad queries, I'm going to say Linkpad queries for practice. And then I come over to public, and then I'm going to add a README, and I'm going to say create repository. So now I have a brand new repository that I can commit code into. So to do that, I click this little down arrow here and I can copy that. But then I need to come over to my computer here and I can do this one or two ways. If you download Git for Windows, and we'll talk about that in another video. If you download Git for Windows, you can use the bash, and that's going to emulate you using Git on a Linux-based system. Okay, and so that it's gonna look that way right there. Okay, so now if I do a LSL-L, it shows me exactly where I'm at in this video, in this particular um, there's ice cream drama going on back here. So I'm going to do a, hold on one second, y'all. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put this in my documents folder. So let's do CD space documents. And one of the tips that I was given, I think Dave, was that when you're using command line prompt or command prompt lines, um, or you're in the bash, CD space doc. If you type the first few letters of it and hit tab, it'll automatically fill for you. ls-l. And there's my stuff there I can use. So I have repos under here, and I'll say cd space repos ls dash l. Okay, so now what I need to do is I need to clone this repository right here because I've got something in there already. So I'm going to copy that by clicking this right here. And then I can say git clone space, right click, hit enter, and it should clone that in there. And now if I do a ls-l, nope, not ld, ls-l, I should have that in there now. So there it is right there. cd space link. And you'll notice that this particular directory has this little turquoise looking um, uh, text next to it. That indicates to me that this is a Git repository that I can commit changes to and stuff like that. So everything that's in there is going to be handled by Git. So I'm going to add a folder under here, and I'm just going to say make directory, make dir space, um, and okay, I'll call it sample one ls-l. There's my sample one. There's my README right there. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go into sample one, cd space sample one, ls-l, dash l. There's nothing in there. I come back to my Linkpad and I'm going to save it there. So I'm going to say save as, and under my documents, under my repos, it's actually here. See, users, documents, repos. Actually, let's go back here and let's right click this and add that to um, quick access. There we go. So now we can click it up here. There's our repos right there. Here's our Linkpad queries and here's sample one. And I'm going to give this a name. I'm going to call it sample query one. And it'll create a link in there. So now if I go back to my command prompt, or my bash, I should say, ls-l, there's my sample query one.link. So now if I go cd space, to go back up a directory, I can say git add star. Now you have to be careful when you're using git add star. Git is really used for committing your code when you're done with it. Now, to kind of explain Git, it works in three phases. And in the next video, I'll kind of give a little bit of a visual diagram for it. The first stage is you're working copy. That's the one that's located on your machine and it's only on your machine. The next one is your committed copy. There's other terminology for it, but again, I'm just drawing a blank right now. That's what's going to happen when you stage that and you commit that uh, your changes. It's going to go into your staged copy, and then that is going to get committed up into your remote branch. So there's kind of three phases to it. So I'm going to say git add star, and now if I say git status, I can see that I've got stuff staged in there, just like that, and it shows in green. And now if I say git commit dash m, because you always want to put a message in there, and I'll say committing a link pad LINQPad sample query to repo, hit enter, and it shows that I did make a commit. I say git status again. It says that my branch is ahead. My local branch here, this main branch here, my local branch is now got changes that I need to get pushed up to my remote branch. They no longer match. Okay. And so what I need to do now is I need to push my changes up to the remote branch. Git push. And that should push up my changes. Uh-oh. It says unable to I have to do some global stuff there. So this is the part that I always forget. Oh, there it is. Git um oh shoot, what is it? Global. Git global name, global config name, and email. There's a cheat sheet for all of this, y'all. There it is. Git config. Git config dash global user name is um, that. Git config global user email. I think it's email. Yeah, and it's and then what's going to happen is when I do my push again, do my push again, it doesn't like that. Okay, git push. I should get something that pops up. Um, so what's happening here is I'm getting a denied error because I'm logged into somebody else here, basically. Um, and I always forget how to unlog myself from where I'm at. So what I can do is I can just use, or I can go over here to my repository and just grant myself access. That's the easy way to do it. Go to my repository and go to my Linkpad query, go to security. Actually, it's not there. It's under settings, I think. In repositories, ready at emails. Mm, yeah, there's a there's always this little thing that I have to do here. Um, that you can't I can share. that repository with individuals. I've not blocked anybody, but what I can do is I can allow access to that person. Emails. That is the right email address. That's my correct name. And the reason why is because of where I put this. This particular repo directory is logged under my hortdog951. That's what's going on there. So, like I said, the easiest way to do this, for just for the sake of this particular scenario, go back here, is to just share um, this with my other email address, which is kind of annoying because I could have swore that it allows me to, oh, there it is, manage access, direct access, invite a collaborator. I just got to remember what that other one is. I think it's my, there we go. No, is it that one? There we go. Invite me, add me. Let's see. Now I gotta open up GitHub. It's that one. I gotta remember what that one is. Sign out. Sign in. I can't remember what that is. I think that's the right one. No. Yeah, that's the right one. That's me. Okay. So now, if I go to that email, grab my phone. That's the easiest way to do this. And I've got an email here on my phone that says I was invited to collaborate on this. Actually, I'll just go to the email here. It's probably easier that way too. Almost an hour. And I'll go to my email. It's probably my junk email. This is kind of like my spam email one here. Let's see. Come on, come on. Hey, Heath Ryle smoked honey pecan turkey. Well, that's coming up. Let's see if I've got the ability to push this. Git push yet. Or if I have to, yeah, I have to. I should have a junk mail here somewhere. Let's see. I didn't get the invite here. What's up here? Hello. I should have got an invite for that. Sign out. Now sign back into my other account. Boom, 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 boom. Let's see. My profile. There's my commit. Security. Settings. Security, manage access. I don't know why I didn't get that invite. Because I should have. Pending invite. I don't know why that invite didn't come to me. Is that in my spam folder here? No. All right, well, let me resend it. Let's resend it. Cancel the invitation. Invite a collaborator again. A. Horton. Unless I'm just looking in the wrong email. Yeah, I am. That's why. Okay. It's there. It's just on the other email. There it is right there. So the email will pop up here. Bam. And I just go ahead and say view. Oh, I gotta log out there. Sign out. Now I'll click on that again. Oh, come on, yo. I probably have more than one now. I do. Accept or decline. Why is that coming up that way? Sign in. Oh, there we go. Accept. Okay, so now let's see if I can do a push. Git push. There we go. All right, so now if I go back and I refresh this, there's my folder with my sample query. Here's my link. And this is all of my Linkpad stuff there. And it shows the VB1 there. And then I can do that again where I'm going to save this query. Save as sample query 2, even though the other one's actually 2. Well, we'll just call it 1, and we'll call it C# or CS. So now, if I come over here again, let's clear that, and I do an ls-l, and I say get status, I should have one file in red right there. That's one I just saved. So it shows that I have a file that's in my Git folder, but it's not committed, it's not staged or anything like that. So I can say git add star. And when I do the git status again, it shows that that is now a staged file. And then what I can do is I will now do my git commit -m adding and now I've committed my change and I can say git push. It will push that to the repo. If I come back over here and refresh, there is a sample CS in there. And then there's my CS code here, my C# code. And now I'm good to go. And so this is now shared, and it's a branch based line of code. So if I wanted to um, um, make a change, let's say I made a change online to this and I added some code in there. Let's see, let's go into this one and do it. And I'll just click in here and say edit. And I'll just add a real quick comment line in here. Say save that, and I'm going to commit that here. With a comment line. I'll just say update query. Added a comment line for pool purposes. Shows who did it. I can say commit my changes. Now, you won't always commit to the main branch. Very rarely will you commit to the main branch when you're working on code. So this is just real quick and dirty. So now, if I come back over here, what I can do is I can do a get. Is it a diff? If I want to do a diff on this, get diff. Get diff. I don't know if that's it. No, that's not it. That's gonna try to pop something up in the background, I'll bet. CD space sample1 ls l get diff sample query 1 cs linq. Keep forgetting that this is a emulator. Get diff sample cs linq. I don't know if that's the right. Yeah, it's not the right syntax for that probably. So what I'm trying to do is if I do a get pull, what it's going to do, it's going to overwrite what's on my local machine with what is over on my, yeah, so let's do that. Let's say vim space sample query 1 cs link. So this is what I have right now in my code, right? This is using vim q. There we go. You don't want to use vim. It's kind of a pain in the rear. Now, if I do a git pull from my repo, what it's going to do, it's going to overwrite what I have locally, and then it's going, you see this little plus here? So what it's doing is it overwrites what I have locally with the snapshot that's over here on my remote. Now, if I go back in there, I'll just do cat sample query 1 cs.link. There's the difference. So you see, here's my comment line. It wasn't in there before. So now they match. So it's really good to look at this in a IDE like Visual Studio or Visual Studio Code. And maybe in the next video we'll kind of show how that works. And I know this is a really fast and dirty way to show you how Git works, but I wanted to kind of get this ahead of you, no pun intended, for you to see it. Um, that there's a multitude of different things that you can do. And if you use Visual Studio Code, which I do have, I think, do I have that on this machine? I do not actually. To get Visual Studio Code, just go to Visual Studio Code, just Google it, Visual Studio Code, and you can just go there and download it. It doesn't take long, it's very small, and actually it has some plugins for Git and GitHub and stuff like that. So you'll want to use the Windows version or whatever operating system you're using. um, Windows. And it should pop up there. It does. Save file. Why is that taking so long? I think they throttle the download there because this, I have gigabit. And this is not going to take 6 minutes to download 60 megs. Something else is going on there. So anyway, um, what I'll do is I'll get this installed, but I wanted to kind of show you all how some of that works, and how you can use your GitHub because, excuse me, GitHub is a great thing to put onto your um, resume. This GitHub account, not this one, the other one. Yeah, this GitHub account, this GitHub account helped me get a job. It helped me get a job. So, because what it does is it shows people that you have some proficiency in developing code. And so, like if I go over here, this isn't the one I used. This isn't the one on my GitHub account. On my this is the one I use, I think. Yeah. And so this is the one I use on my resume. And when I went into an interview, the person who interviewed me, he barely looked at the resume. He said, "So I see on your GitHub account that you know how to do some VB," because I think he was looking at this particular app here that I made for like one of my daughter's career fairs. It's real simple. And so I made this, and he was like, "I see that you know how to do Visual Basic." He was like, "Can you, you mind doing that stuff?" I was like, "No, shoot, no." And so, and this is, I mean, I made this years ago. I mean, this is a long time ago. Because actually, I developed this actually more than 2 years ago. I just put it on GitHub to get my stuff out there. This is a great way to show that you have some proficiency in what you do. Um, you can do it that way. Here's another one that I used for, I think I did this to do some stuff for my daughter. Um, this one I used here as well. Um, yep, here's a program that I used there. And you know what? I wonder if something, yeah. So this is something that I did um, in the background for a different project that I worked on, um, just a demo. I had an AfroCon one up here somewhere years ago, but I think I lost it, which is a shame because I like that app. So anyway, uh, that's using GitHub, and um, that's also using um, Linkpad. If you have any questions, and obviously I'm going to reload this and say yep, and there's my comment line there. So if you have any questions, shoot me an email. This will be on my Facebook page, and not my Facebook page, but my YouTube channel, and I'll continue putting these videos out there to hopefully help you uh, get into this realm of development work, coding, and engineering. Till then, uh, peace out. Have a blessed night. Bye bye.